Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full review of this Moto Edge 20 Fusion, and we'll go over the pros and cons. So this is going to be a slightly long video because I've made a list, so we'll go over all the aspects, pros and cons. So I don't want to miss out on things because I feel this is an important smartphone, and finally after a very long time Motorola has got a lot of things right with this smartphone. But again, like any smartphone, this is not perfect. It has its share of flaws, so I'll also mention that. So let's get on with the review. And the first thing that I liked on this smartphone is now finally Motorola has gone with an AMOLED screen. They were simply not giving any AMOLED screens. So this is the first smartphone in this around this 20,000 price point from Motorola. It's 21,500, guys. And by the way, guys, I'll be blunt. It comes in two variants. One is with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage. Here are the specs for your reference if you want. And the big difference is that other variant that's for 1,500 rupees more comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And I frankly feel even if you go with the 6 gigabyte RAM variant, it'll be more than enough, guys. It's a stock Android experience that you're getting, so no bloatware or anything, and you really don't need that 8 gigabytes of RAM because storage is the same on both the variants. Okay, the first thing that I really liked on this smartphone is that AMOLED screen. And guys, what I liked is Motorola has put a very good quality AMOLED screen. Just notice the blacks over here, the black levels, how good they are even when the white comes and stuff. So it's an excellent AMOLED screen. It's actually a 10-bit panel, guys. Many of the vendors in this price range give an 8-bit panel, and you notice that difference, that pop, everything. But this is a very good AMOLED screen. So they didn't skimp on the features of this. There is one flaw. I'll talk about that in the later part of the video, but overall I would say I was frankly not expecting that they will give this good quality AMOLED screen with this one. Okay, let me just check mark that one because I keep missing. That's why I wrote it on the paper. I make all these notes for test the device for 10 days and forget points, so I'm just using a marker to point out. Okay, next thing I like is among features and stuff, what do we get with this smartphone? Because again, here Motorola with some of their earlier mid-range smartphones used to skimp on things, but here I'm happy to say that here they're not skimping on things. For example, you even get NFC on this one, as you can see, and you also get carrier aggregation. We actually also get IP52 splash resistant, and finally on a Motorola phone you get the compass sensor, and as you can see, the compass sensor works. Many of you were asking, so that way I like they are not skimping on functionality with this smartphone. The next thing is this is a small thing, guys, but I noticed that the haptic feedback, that is known as the vibration, is also pretty decent. I won't say it's as good as flagships or something, but it's actually pretty decent on this smartphone, so I like that. So when you use it, type and stuff, it gives a very good feel. Next thing that I really liked is, again, this is a departure from typical Motorola mid-range smartphones. The back is fiberglass, so it's a fingerprint magnet, as I've told you guys, but this smartphone simply does not feel heavy in the hand. That was not the case with most of the other mid-range smartphones from Motorola. And again, in terms of battery life also, it's good. It's not like that skimmed on the battery life because of that. So this simply does not feel that heavy. So in that area also, they have done actually a really good job. It comes with this side-mounted fingerprint scanner, and as you can see, it works very well. No issues at all. So again, we had that notion of most of the Motorola mid-range phones were very bulky and heavy. This departs from that. As I've told you, this is a complete different kind of a Motorola smartphone. What all we were asking, they tried to implement with this one. Okay, moving to the next thing, let me just check mark what other things I've mentioned. NFC we have covered, haptic feedback. Okay, now next important thing, I don't know about you guys, but I still take a lot of calls with a smartphone like this, like a normal human being. And here also I have to say the earpiece quality is actually very good on this smartphone. I did not have any issues with that. And also I tested this one with Airtel and Jio in Hyderabad, and with that also I did not have any issues. The good thing is that even Wi-Fi calling works brilliantly on this smartphone. For example, in this area we have very low signal, but as Wi-Fi calling was working, I did not have any issues. So that way it's good. The speaker is just a single speaker, but it's actually pretty loud. Let me actually give you an idea, because some of you have asked me. Let's just play this music, and let me just go a little bit forward. So this is the max volume. the speaker is just this, guys. Let me just, if I block it, as you can see. So it's not a, what do you say, stereo speaker, but decently loud, as you can see. As you can see, it goes pretty loud. So that's regarding the speaker. And even for calls, the speaker phone was adequately loud. I did not have any issues. Okay, so let's move to the next thing, and that is again, you know, with Motorola phones, it's the clean UI that you are getting with Motorola phones. That's the same case with this one. It's almost close to stock Android, apart from some Motorola specific apps that you have. We also have FM radio. If you guys use that, we have that, and some Motorola specific apps like this to customize it. But these are actually sort of useful apps, guys. You can personalize it. So I won't call it bloatware or something. So very clean Android experience, no ads or anything. Strangely, we are not getting this kind of stuff in this price range. Only Pixel phones are now offering this in this price range, because Nokia is also sort of not present with good phones in this range. So now we really have a nice option. So clean UI that you're getting, no ads or anything. And because it's stock Android, guys, very fast, no lag or anything that I've noticed. Even in terms of RAM management, the RAM management has been good on this smartphone. I didn't have to worry about RAM, and as you can see, I opened Twitter in the morning, it's there, YouTube we had open. So stuff like this is not an issue with this phone. RAM management is also good. And some of the apps like Truecaller, this MyGate, etc., that I use need to be in memory. Those don't get booted out. So in terms of RAM management and usability, I did not have an issue with this smartphone. Okay, one thing to note is that technically, let's just search for what do you say, a 4K video, 4K HDR video. It does support HDR, the screen 4K HDR. And yeah, this Costa Rica, I know, supports HDR, and the screen will just become brighter, guys, because this is HDR. So on YouTube, as you can see, HDR actually works. It's very vibrant. I don't think so my camera can capture HDR, but looks very vibrant. So HDR is there on this one. But for some reason, when I open Netflix, let me just log in. And if I go to app settings, and if we go to playback specifications, as you can see, it does support wide one L1 support, so you get that full HD and stuff, not a problem. But HDR on Netflix is not supported. And guys, this is something that I've noticed with almost all smartphones having the Dimensity SoC, so they really need to work this out. Though HDR is supported, because YouTube, as I've told you, HDR works, but on Netflix I'm not getting that HDR. I thought you guys should know that. But HD playback is not an issue, because it does support wide one L1. So that is regarding that. And again, it's having the Dimensity 800 SoC. It's a very good processor, guys. Very power efficient also. And again, some of you have asked me in my usage and testing, did I notice any heating or something? No heating whatsoever with this smartphone. I'm not a very heavy gamer. I did play Call of Duty for about 25 minutes. It played fine. Yes, it got slightly warm, but it was not getting hot. For gaming, guys, check other channels, because to be very frank, guys, I hardly do gaming these days. But I did play Call of Duty, as I've told you, and there also I did not have any issues. And regular usage, guys, no issues of heating or anything like that. It's a very smooth working smartphone. Very fluid, because of, again, stock Android and the Dimensity 800 SoC. Motorola has added this new ready for PC with this one. If you have watched my unboxing video, you saw that you can actually put a cable and connect it to your computer, and actually you can project whatever is there here, or you can keep the phone here and just use your computer, and this will be mirrored. So those kind of functionality is there on this one. This is a new thing they have added on this, that is called ready for PC. I won't get into this because this video will become very, very long, but that functionality is also there. And again, for security concerned people, this one does have Motorola's Think Shield, so that is there. So if any tampering is done with the phone while booting up, it runs some check, you will know that. So again, this is not useful for regular users, but if you're sort of a corporate user or work from home and security is important, so we also have that on this smartphone. When you boot up, you actually get that screenshot, so you have that. Now let me also talk about Wi-Fi. In my unboxing video, I said by mistake that this Fusion also has Wi-Fi 6. No, the Fusion has just Wi-Fi 5 on this one. And many of you have asked me, how is the Wi-Fi performance? And I would say the Wi-Fi performance is okay, but not spectacular. Let's actually test it right now. I'm just going to dismiss this, and I just ran it. So I'll run the speed test right now. If you know, guys, I'm having a Airtel gigabit connection, and on Wi-Fi maximum you should get about 600 Mbps. But let's test this. How much do we get? And again, we'll also test it on this one, this Realme. This comes with the 778, and as you can see, that about 270, 280, might touch 300 megabit on this one. So the Wi-Fi is okay. It's not like it's sluggish or bad or something like that. But you'll notice that when I run the same speed test on this phone, this is the Realme GT Master Edition that comes with the Snapdragon 778. This one actually has the Wi-Fi 6 chip, and you'll notice, see what we got, 336 and 315, same location. I'm just going to run this one. This also supports 5 GHz band, not a problem. Let's just see what results do we get. And as you can see, this is definitely like what, 580, 590 I'm going to get on this one. I think the upload is 600. So yes, Wi-Fi is there, it's decent, and for most users you won't have a problem because you simply won't have that 500 megabit connection or something. But again, if you have these very high speed connection, yes, I've rarely seen this going above 350 megabit. So that's regarding the Wi-Fi. This has Wi-Fi 5, this has Wi-Fi 6. So that's regarding the Wi-Fi. Just wanted to give you a fair idea because many of you have asked me how's the Wi-Fi performance. So it's okay, but not stellar or something like that. Okay, let's now talk about the thing that I was surprised with this smartphone. This comes with a 5000 milliamp hour battery. And boy, oh boy, the battery life I was getting on this smartphone is nothing short of extraordinary. Let me actually show you, and I hate this. We have to use Google Photos. I wish they had a gallery app because here, let me just, I saved some screenshots, okay? So I don't know, this is after 1 day, 10 hours of usage. As you can see, it was at 14%. And if you look at the screen on time, 9 hours 14 minutes, guys. 9 hours 14 minutes of SOT. Okay, let's go to some more. Again, this was 19%. Again, 1 day 8 hours. So it was constantly, I didn't have to charge it every day. As you can see, 1 day 8 hours. And if you look at the screen on time, 8 hours 51 minutes. That's again almost 9 hours, as you can see. So again, let's look at this again. Another day, 8 hours. So this is what I'm telling you guys. This was only at 57%, doesn't make sense. So yeah, so that was my results with the battery life on this one. The battery life that I was getting on this one is spectacular, guys, and that's thanks to the stock Android experience that you are getting. No bloatware or unnecessary processes that are running behind, like extra security app, this, that, nothing crap like that on this one. And also the Dimensity 800 SoC is a very good SoC. It's a very power efficient SoC. That's why in terms of battery life it exceeded my expectations, because I was a little bit worried because all the earlier Motorola phones were used to be super heavy and almost all of them came with 6000 milliamp hour battery. So even with this 5000 milliamp hour battery, the battery life is really good. So in terms of battery life, it did perform actually much better than I expected. I was expecting about 7.5 hours of SOT, but mostly 8.5 to 9 hours of SOT I was getting on this one. Okay, next thing is, some of you have asked me about what kind of glass protection do we have? Do we have Gorilla Glass on this one? And I double checked this with Motorola India team. They told me that no, it does not have Gorilla Glass, but it has something called NEG Glass. And they said that this is similar in production to Gorilla Glass 3. So it's not Gorilla Glass, but it's a strengthened glass. They call it NEG Glass. NEG Glass. So just wanted to you guys to know that. And next thing that I really liked with this smartphone is regarding 5G bands. This smartphone has 13 bands of 5G. So whenever 5G comes in India, hopefully by next year, if government gets their act together, you will not have a problem with 5G. And in fact, I would say at this price point, 21,500, this smartphone is the one that has the highest bands of 5G that I have seen. So 13 bands of 5G that you're getting. So it's a true 5G capable smartphone. No gimmicks or 1 or 2 band of 5G like others are doing. Okay, and now let's talk about the cameras on this one. Back we have a triple camera. Main is 108. Then we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide. I wish it was wider. Then we have the 2 megapixel rubbish that we have. And front is a punch hole, 32 megapixel. And here are some of the samples taken with the camera so that you have a better idea about the same. So these samples were taken with the rear facing camera in outdoor conditions, and outdoor it does a good job. You can also zoom in, but don't zoom in too much. Some of the regular shots that I've taken, and as you can see, they come out good in direct lighting. This was a regular shot, and this was with the wide angle lens. One more regular shot, and this was with the wide angle lens. Now some shots taken at night, and this was very dull lighting, guys, and in fact the pictures came out brighter than reality. And these shots, just notice the light around the light, there's quite a bit of halo which is distracting, which is slightly less with the ultra wide angle. In fact, at night it performed much better than I expected. Another shot in pretty low dull lighting conditions in my office, and here I enabled the night mode, so the night mode does make a difference. Now some samples in indoor artificial lighting, and here I was surprised. In fact, it did much better than I expected. This was ultra wide angle, and some more samples taken in artificial lighting. In artificial lighting, exposure is about 1 or 2 seconds. Now these were also taken in artificial lighting, and the front facing camera does a decent job, but there is a slight softness indoors. In natural lighting, I felt the pictures were slightly more sharper with the front facing camera. And these samples come out good, but when you are against the light, when HDR is there, HDR is simply not effective, as you can see. Recording a quick sample with the front-facing camera of this Moto Edge 20 Fusion. I'm just indoors. I'm just going to move out, and it handles the lighting better. And as you can see now, it's a lot better in natural lighting. The skin tones, etc., are a lot better here compared to when we were indoors. And I also feel it's a little bit zoomed in, so you actually have to stretch your hands if you're shooting the video like this, vlog style. But what do you feel about the same? Do let me know in the comment section. So guys, the camera was actually pretty decent, but again, I wouldn't say it's the best or something, but I would say it did perform much better than I expected. Only thing is that at night, if you notice that glow I was getting when there were lights around that was a little bit irritating and excessive, I would say. But apart from that, it was a decent camera, I feel. But what do you guys think about the camera? Do let me know in the comment section. Now let's move to the cons and the things that I did not like with this smartphone, and some of them are very, very peculiar. I don't know why. Okay, the first thing that I did not like on this smartphone is the Bluetooth range, guys. I have to say the Bluetooth range is one of the weakest that I have experienced on a smartphone lately. And for example, this is the Pixel Buds A, and I played with this one. Worked fine without any issue in the same room, no lag, no nothing. But the moment I stepped out of this room to the next room, it was just disconnecting. And I thought, how come Google made such a big mistake with Pixel Buds? You need good range. So I paired this buds with other smartphones, and I could roam the entire flat around without it skipping. So in terms of Bluetooth range, it's not like it's terrible, it won't work. It'll work if you're in the same room, but the moment you step out, the Bluetooth is just losing the connection. So the Bluetooth radio, I don't know what they did, or maybe it's just my unit, guys. Just want to be transparent, check with others how is the Bluetooth range. But on this unit, the Bluetooth range is rubbish. So that is something that I did not like. Next thing is regarding the proximity sensor, guys. And I would say it's not bad like some of the other Redmi phones or something where it was so bad that I had to stop using the smartphone. I would say the proximity sensor is pretty good on this smartphone. But for about 5% of the calls, when I was taking specifically long calls, what happens is when you take the calls, the screen should just shut off. Okay, that's why you know the proximity sensor is working and it doesn't click anything. So that was fine. 95% of the time it was like that for most of the calls. But sometimes when I was taking the calls, the screen used to light up at times. This happened about just 5% of the time. So I feel the proximity sensor is not 100% effective. It was not like the calls were getting cut, but I did notice that. I thought you guys should know that. Also, next thing is, and this is regarding, guys, the AMOLED screen, as I've told you initially. The quality of the AMOLED screen is fabulous. Still, I'm really happy with the quality of the AMOLED screen. It's a 10-bit panel, so everything looks really good. Even when you're watching movies and stuff, though even in Netflix you don't have HDR, but because of the quality of the screen, it looks very good. But the problem is, outdoors, in direct sunlight, even if I was keeping the brightness at maximum brightness, it was simply not that bright. And guys, I won't blame Motorola. This is the same case with almost every mid-range Android smartphone using an AMOLED screen. Though these simply do not get that bright in outdoor, direct sunlight. If you have seen any of my mid-range smartphones, this is a standard con that I have. So that's the same case even with this one. Indoors, I don't have a problem with this smartphone, but outdoors, the screen in direct sunlight is sort of hardly visible. Next thing is, again, this is regarding the auto brightness. I feel the auto brightness sensor is not calibrated that much, because when I was testing this device for the last 7-8 days, many times even in indoors I had to actually manually adjust the brightness. It's not like the auto brightness does not work. You notice it will work, but the calibration, even when it was auto adjusting, I had to lower the brightness sometimes or increase it at times. So I feel it can be improved. Hopefully they do it with a software update. And lastly, again guys, this is regarding, as I've told you, because it's stock Android, they are not adding a bucket load of stuff and everything, but I feel Motorola should give their own gallery app. Right now you have to rely on this Google Photos, and I am not liking it. I used to use the Google Photos earlier a lot because of the free storage and stuff, but now it's not there. So I feel it's high time Motorola brings back. It's not like, see, as you can see, Google Photos work, it's very fluid and all this thing, but I feel having a proper dedicated gallery app would be a lot better. Again, this is a pro and a con also. Though it's having the AMOLED screen, you get this Moto display whenever you pick up the phone or do anything. This lights up automatically, so you know your notification or whatever. You just click, you can read it, you can dismiss it. It's very functional, I would say. But there is no setting inside to have this as always on. Though it's an AMOLED screen and battery life is not an issue on this smartphone, but we don't have always on. So you have to rely on this Moto display. So that is a small nitpicking that I have with this one. But overall, I would say it's a really, really good Android smartphone. And finally, now Motorola has embraced an AMOLED screen. It's a good quality AMOLED screen. And if I have to summarize, I would say it's a very good smartphone. And regarding updates, I completely forgot. I again double checked this with Motorola India. They said that this will get 2 years of Android update. So that means right now it's on Android 11. It will also get the Android 12 and Android 13. So overall, I would say yes, it's not perfect. And again, a small con because of the camera hump. Again, if you are a person who types like this, it's there. So yeah, it's not perfectly right. So yeah, I know some people who like to type like this and all those things. So yeah, it's not super stable. So guys, that was my review of this smartphone. I would say the plus points is that it's clean Android stock experience, which is a rarity these days with this price point. The AMOLED screen quality is actually really good. The battery life is also very, very good on this smartphone. And finally, it's not a bulky smartphone. So I would say if you are looking for an Android smartphone at this price point, I feel as of now, this is a very strong player. In fact, I would say this is much better than the OnePlus Nord CE, which is slightly more expensive than this one. And even the Samsung Galaxy A52, if I recall, the A52 was for about 25,000. But I feel the A52's rear-facing camera in certain situations might do better than this one. Anyways, guys, that was my review of this Moto Edge 20 Fusion. So what do you guys think about the same? And guys, if you're still not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. And I will also be reviewing the Moto Edge 20 regular one, not the Fusion, sometime in April. I'm actually waiting for the retail unit of that one. Once I get that, I will do that review, but it'll be sometime in September. So stay tuned to the channel. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Take care. Catch you later.